Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Busy hour coming up. Thanks for checking in today, watching on YouTube TV, listening on Sirius XM channel 158, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, or any of our great affiliates across the country. Paul Stone in 30 minutes. His look at the college football playoffs and maybe a bowl game or two as well. 45 minutes from right now, the Pizzeria bets that you have made. We'll go over those at that time. Right now, Pauly, we have look-ahead numbers, Week 16, National Football League, one of our favorite segments of the entire week. Now, we're looking at three different books right now, FanDuel, DraftKings, and the Westgate here in Las Vegas. The huge game, the biggest one of the biggest games of the entire season is next Thursday. The Rams play at Seattle. At FanDuel, the Rams are -1.5. At the Westgate, it opened up Pick'em. Mm-hmm. At DK, Seattle's favored by 1.5. I took Seattle +1.5 at Boyd here. It's the FanDuel -120. I actually hope I lose the bet, or I hope the Rams win the game by a point, because I want the Rams to get home field based on my future bets.
There you go.
But that's
interesting. But
I think Seattle's worth a bet anyway.
Yes.
At home.
Now, I know you're concerned about Darnold here.
Sure.
But in light of the 4 interceptions, they still should have won the game.
Think about that.
They shut Stafford down. They were all over him. But you got to fade Darnold here, though. This is what he does when it's a ferocious pass rush and a nasty defense. You saw the Minnesota game. We saw it last year in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. You saw what the Rams did in the playoff game. He just comes unglued.
What if Myers makes that field goal at the gun in that game?
Yeah, right.
Right? Are they
huge?
Are they not a 1.5 everywhere, 2-point favorite in this game?
What a game.
Oh, it's an amazing game.
I think the total's too high. That's my takeaway.
46.5.
There's 47.5 at DK.
Top of my head, I'm going to say 2 teams have done a great job against this Rams offense all year long. One, here, Seattle. The other one, you got to go all the way back to week 1. The Texans-Rams game was awesome. Hard hitting. Nothing happened offensively for the most part. And the Texans, guess what? The Texans defense, they were awesome in that game.
Now, Seattle had a goal line stand, but also one of the touchdowns was set up by a Darnold pick.
That's right.
That was returned deep into Seattle territory. They were phenomenal in that game defensively.
Yeah. Seattle, to me, absolutely worth a bet. Saturday night, the Eagles are 4.5 at the Commanders. God, what was that number a month ago? 4.5 total is 45.5. They're 5.5 at DraftKings.
Got to have it, game.
They're also 5.5 at the Westgate.
Yeah. If they can't win this game, it's just, we know what's going to happen come playoff time. It's just that everyone should eat. They should move the ball at will against this defense, and there'll be plenty of Eagle fans too. But it's just, there's so much negativity right now in the organization and the fan base, and this is wild how this has gone.
I go back.
Hurts was so bad last night.
Oh, yeah?
Oh.
I go back to our conversation with Sal Paolantonio a couple of years ago on this Eagles team. Weren't they undefeated at the time, playing on a Monday night against the Commanders?
Correct, he called it.
With Heineke?
Yeah.
He's like, guys, trust me on this. The Commanders always play him well, and I'm calling my shot right now. Washington will beat them. And they did as a huge dog.
Good recall. Saturday night, Packers-Bears. They stole my idea. I have a cologne coming out soon called The Beach as well. Packers 3 in Chicago.
I like the ocean better.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay, what do you want to do with this number?
Like the Pack.
Do you?
LaFleur, 12-1 against them. Jordan Love cooking.
What if Caleb Williams doesn't underthrow that pass in the end zone?
Yeah.
If that's a touchdown, does Ben Johnson go for 2 in the win?
Good question. I would hope so. Knowing Ben, I would hope so.
I think that he probably does, yeah.
Right. I hated the play call, though.
I know.
No need to do that.
I know. But Pauly, the Bears were game. They were right there with them.
I was very impressed, even though they lost.
As was I.
Absolutely.
Boy,
they got to have this, too, though. I mean, assuming you beat Cleveland, you have Detroit, you have this game, and suddenly the playoffs, you're a small shot to make the playoffs now. You'd lose the tiebreaker to Detroit.
Well, think about
how
a
lot can happen, though. You have the tiebreaker over Philly if they implode.
We're talking about razor-thin margin of error here. With that very close loss again against Green Bay last week, they dropped from the 1 seed to the 7.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
Right.
On Sunday, the Chargers now going to be at the Cowboys. This is after, so the Chargers played last night. Get the Chiefs coming up this week on the road. And then next week, they're at Dallas, catching 2.5, total 48.5. You like the boys? What does your Dallas source say in this game?
I lean Dallas, yeah.
That's a gauntlet that the Chargers have to go through.
Where are you at with their defense?
Which team? The Cowboys?
Chargers, yes.
Oh, the Chargers.
Sorry.
I think it's a pretty damn good unit.
I still think that Colts game haunts me. Now, you were down some guys, but they couldn't get stops in that Colts game.
I think that was one of those games, too, where the offense hurt the defense's chances throughout, too, because, do I have this correct? Herbert was under pressure the entire game. Bad offensive line there, too.
Yeah. Good game. Tough call. I lean Cowboys.
I think I like the Cowboys there, too.
Okay.
Vikings 1.5 at the Giants, 41.5. Oh, boy.
I had no opinion.
Okay. Bills 8.5 at the Browns, 40.5. Who knows? That could be a massive weather game, and 8.5 could look, I mean,
true.
Honestly, like, I don't want to get completely crazy here. Don't we think Shedeur Sanders could actually be pretty decent in this spot against a horrible Bills defense?
That's right. He looked great. He's only going to get better. More reps, more practice time, build a rapport. Had some beautiful throws to Judy and Njoku and Fannin. I'm with you.
Yeah, I look at the 8.5 there.
I was concerned about the rush defense, though. I mean, hello, Cook and Allen.
Sure.
I mean, they couldn't stop Pollard. What was that?
Very true. Jets at the Saints. Nolans, 3-point favorites, total 39.5.
We're too far out. Who knows who's playing quarterback? I would lean Saints, though.
Yeah,
Chuck looks good. Maybe it's a Cook again for the Jets. I don't know what they're going to do with the quarterback position.
DK has, well, here you go again. DK has 3.5 on the game. Westgate has 2.5 on the Saints. Buccaneers are 2.5 at the Panthers, 44.5.
All right, here it is. Everyone stay calm. You beat Atlanta, you win this game, you're going to win the division. You're getting Evans is coming back, McMillan's coming back, Wirfs is coming back. Question is, though, it's a compromised Mayfield hasn't played well. No excuses now. Everyone's back. Got to win these games. Yeah. You're better.
How about Panthers up to 8.5 on a teaser?
It seems like Bryce Young should be comfortable in the pocket and be able to do something offensively.
I think so. Yeah, if that number remains the same, I think the Panthers will be a part of teasers for me next week. Bengals are 2.5 at Miami, total 49.5. That might be too short of a number. And I'm going to assume that Achane's going to be healthy. Both teams are going to get what they want, I think, in this game. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a Bengals team we're talking about. It's happened the entire year for the most part.
Right.
Chiefs are 11.5 at the Titans, 41.5. I think the Chiefs, now, will they be popular in Survivor contests across the country? Yes. Circa? Because the following week is Christmas and they play?
Only one person has them here.
We're down to one person with the Chiefs now.
If I recall looking at the availability, yeah.
Okay. So does that person take him here thinking,
yeah, you can use them I wouldn't use them at home against Denver.
No, neither would I.
They might be out of it. That's the other thing.
Yep. Broncos are 3 at home to Jacksonville, 43.5.
Wow. The no respect bowl. 10 wins in a row. You're laying 3 against Lawrence?
They're 2.5 at DK.
Wow.
I don't have access to DK. I would bet 2.5 with the Broncos right now.
I think that defense can give Lawrence trouble.
Me too.
But you might come back and say the same thing to Jacksonville Knicks. I think that I'd like the under.
So do I. Yep. I would look at Broncos and I would, under is would be the first play, I think, there. Falcons at the Cardinals, 1.5 for Arizona, 44.5.
They've lost 10 of 11 and they're favored. Where's the news on Raheem Morris? What's the holdup?
Sure.
Boy, that's bad. That's embarrassing.
Is that an over game?
I would think so.
Steelers at the Lions, Detroit 6.5, 49.5.
Well, you said they'd crush them.
Well, they absolutely, right? Give me the scenario where Detroit, at least like their team total, they don't score like 30-plus points.
Mm-hmm.
They should get what they want all game long against Pittsburgh's defense.
Yeah.
They're laying a huge number. Think about that. The Steelers are leading their division, and they're catching 6.5 on the road against a third-place team. Raiders at Houston, Texans 11.5. I don't think that's big enough.
Oh, no. If it's Geno Smith, they're going to sack him 10 times again.
Yeah. That has 20-3 written all over it. That should be closer to 14. Sunday night, Patriots at the Ravens, Baltimore 2.5, 47.5.
No respect for the Pats. Dogs the next 2 games.
I'm Paul. You stole my thunder.
Yeah, Vrabel can play that all week long.
We talk about this with a lot of these teams. Where's the respect?
Yeah.
Really?
Okay.
Okay, and then the Monday night game, the
boy.
Niners are at the Phillip Rivers and the Colts.
Is he starting? He might start this game. This would be the game he starts. Then what do you do?
I think I play the Colts. They're not going to get pressure on the guy, right?
I can't wait to watch. I'll tell you that. I mean, if he's in there, this was the game he would start.
Let me give you this from Diana Rossini. Does a great job covering the NFL. A source close to Rivers describes a player who looks in better shape now than when he played. Quote, it's a no-brainer who gives them the best chance. End of quote. Expect a heavy dose of Jonathan Taylor in the Colts ground game to help support 44-year-old Phillip Rivers.
Do you agree with that? Riley Leonard's been there the whole year, but this guy who's been out of the league and hasn't played since 2020 gives you a better shot?
Oh, man.
Also, they said he's not in shape. The report I read, which it's one thing to just say, well, I can go out for a jog, and right now you be in there and play a full NFL game. He's not ready to do that from a physical standpoint yet.
I can't imagine, Paul. I mean, was he running sprints with his kid during the high school season, and we're thinking that's going to be good enough? I'm in football shape because I coach my kid's team. What?
Remember when that girl beat me, the WNBA player? Well, you were there.
Yeah.
I would go for jogs every day, but then it was when the bullets are flying, you got to play to 21. I was gassed.
Oh, yeah. Based on history, or at least the last 21 years, we know which group of teams the national championship is coming from. I'll give you the details next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, so this is a big poll in college basketball this week because you could actually consider it. A couple of good tweets here. One from Trilly Donovan. The most important AP poll of the year finally dropped. History tells us that one of 12 teams will win the national championship. I say that because this week is week 6 of the AP poll in college basketball. When you go back and look since 2003, 2004, the previous national champion in the week 6 poll was ranked inside the top 12 every single year. And the teams this year in the top 12, Arizona, Michigan, Duke, Iowa State, UConn, Purdue, Houston, Gonzaga, Michigan State, BYU, Louisville, and Alabama. I do have a future ticket on 2 teams this year. One comes in the top 12. It's on UConn. My other future bet is on a team that at this point would not make the tournament. That's Kentucky. They have played 4 good teams. They've lost to all of them. They've gotten embarrassed and blown out in some of them as well. I've watched most of these teams play. The Michigan Gonzaga performance around Thanksgiving was all time.
What is this? This team's a freight train.
That was insane what they did.
They beat San Diego State by 40. They get a great defensive team for 20 years program.
Yeah.
They scored 94 on them. They beat Auburn by 30. They beat Gonzaga by 40. They beat Rutgers by 41. They scored 100 points in their last 3 games.
Yeah.
94 so 94 points at least in their last 4 games.
So not only are they scoring at will, their defense has been awesome too, and these teams are not even. That Gonzaga game, I'm not joking, was over in the first 10 minutes of the game. I mean, the last time that happened to Gonzaga, well, that did happen against Baylor in the title game, but it was wasn't that big of a blowout when they played. So that was stunning. Duke is phenomenal, but I've also had people tell me, and they were lucky to survive Florida the other night at home, and Florida's in action against UConn tonight. More on that in a second. But I've had multiple people tell me that if Duke couldn't win it last year with Cooper Flagg, Kneppel, and that whole team, why should we bet Duke to win it this year?
Oh, come on. I mean, it was...
Yeah, the Houston...
It's how it's set up.
Yes.
I mean, this is just... Anyone can have a bad 10 or 20 minutes.
That's exactly right. I mean, they were... For them to blow that game against Houston last year, there was a miracle comeback by the Cougars. We'll put it that way. I watched the game 3 times over that weekend. I'm like, I still had no idea how Duke lost.
Yeah.
So, and they're absolutely loaded. And then what Iowa State did to Purdue last weekend, too.
I was going to say, 81-58 on the road.
Killed them.
That was historic what happened.
Right.
I mean, to go on the road at number 1 and blast them.
So Florida's backcourt is dicey this year. They are not exactly replacing the great guards that they had a year ago. However, they just had Duke down at Cameron Indoor, and Duke hit a 3 in the final 20 seconds to actually win the game. If that 3 doesn't go in, I'm going to say Florida likely goes on to win that game. Now they get UConn tonight at the Garden. UConn has played one. This is going to be all pro Huskies in this game, right? Because the fan base there will take over that place. They took on Illinois this year at the Garden, and they beat them by double digits. Can the same thing happen tonight? They took money because they opened up as a 1.5-point favorite, and they're up to like 4.5 in the game. That's where it kind of settled in here. I think I might bet UConn in the first half of this game, thinking that it's going to be difficult for the Florida guards, and now they're down to 3.5 here. I think it's going to be a tough time here for the Gator guards to get used to this Dan Hurley type of basketball that he can implement. I will say that the Florida front court is loaded, so I think they can hold their own the entire game with the Huskies here. But this UConn team is going to turn into another freight train. So I think I'm going to bet them in the first half here. We'll see where the market goes on this game before the end of the show here.
Very good.
Yep.
Interesting.
Cup night tonight in the NBA as well.
Yep. Yeah, all these teams are on a 4-day break as a result of the Cup. You got an early tip in Miami and Orlando. Don't get caught with your pants down there at 6 Eastern. Miami, the favorite is flipped in this game. Orlando now favored. Magic 2-0 this year against the Heat. Heat number 1 in pace. Still, what a job by Spoelstra in that offense. I do lean Orlando here. They're 11th in offensive efficiency. They're playing better ball now. And again, as I said earlier, 2-0 against the Heat. Don't know what to do with the total. 236. If it's more like a playoff feel, right?
It will be.
We're talking about. I don't care who you are. It's a lot of money. It'd be nice if you're doing what you love. You're playing a kid's game, but you get paid here, and even what that means for the backups and the guys on the bench. So
I think under is taking money here, and I agree with that.
See that, right. And the winners meet. They come out here Saturday, and that's great for Las Vegas. 2:30 and 6 o'clock are the 2 games on Saturday. And, oh, boy, the Las Vegas needs it, and the league needs it for the Lakers to be here. This is a Laker town. This would be enormous if the Lakers are out here playing Saturday night.
Can I say that as long as OKC beats Phoenix, then it's almost a potential dream matchup, because even if the Spurs win that game, there is a chance where Wemby comes back.
Need him back, though, yeah.
You need him back.
If not, it's a blowout.
I would think so,
They couldn't stop the Pelicans last night. I mean, they won the game.
They were up by 20 at halftime, and the game was tied at the end of the third quarter.
Yeah.
And by the way, Queen had a triple-double last night.
Uh-huh.
So
he better be good. They gave up their pick for him.
Yeah, you're not kidding. But, I mean, I think that the ratings, I think, for assuming that Wemby doesn't come back for a second, that if we get Lakers, Oklahoma City, like that's kind of like the nuts matchup there. They played once already this year, and Oklahoma's, surprise, they killed the Lakers in that game.
Yep. Bam is plus 135 at DK to hit 2 plus threes.
Okay.
If you do that with bombs away what they're doing. And again, I love Norman Powell in the year he's having. He's $1.20 to make 3. The other game, I don't know what to do with the Knicks. They've been hit with the deck as far as the schedule. They haven't played that many road games. They're 13-1 at home.
Yeah, they're 3-6 on the road.
I know, isn't that odd? But they're 3rd in offensive efficiency. 26th, though, in pace. I was sold. Mike Brown was talking pace, up tempo. I want to see him play with more pace. But Toronto's now scuffling a little bit. It's a little bit like the Bulls, where the Bulls were such a great story. Now it's like, okay, talk to me in January. Now the Bulls have a losing record and the wheels have come off. Also, Toronto got off to that hot start. Still could be a top 6, 7 seed. You never know. But now they're starting to play people, and they've had some losses. And they hung in there against the Lakers. That was a great game. But lost with the Hachimura 3 as well. So Knicks taking money. They opened 4 up to 5.5 in some spots.
I will say, for like the first month of the season, the Raptors had one of the better defenses in the entire league. In fact, like their 3-point shooting defense was at the very top, one of the best. So with the scuffles here, with the they're going into the toilet here a little bit lately, losing those 3 straight, including a blowout loss to Charlotte, the shooting against them has been a lot better for the opposing teams. And in fact, in that loss where Hachimura got him at the buzzer, the Lakers scored 123. The Celtics got him for 121. And these two teams played not that long ago. It was November 30th when they played at, in New York. The Knicks won that game 116-94 in that spot. Knicks playing good basketball overall. They've won 3 straight and 8-2 in the last 10 games. This did get to 5.5 at some books a little bit earlier. Right now it's circa the Knicks are sitting at 5. I will point out, no Franz Wagner for Orlando.
Yep.
High ankle sprain. He's going to be out 2 to 4 weeks. They did just get back Paolo Banchero. Now, great breakdown today on the website, vsin.com, from our buddy Zach Cohen. In 312 possessions, the Magic have played with Banchero on the floor and Wagner off. They've been outscored by 6.3 points per 100 possessions. And their offense with those lineups in the league's 15th percentile. So it's a small sample size, but not great. Mm-hmm. They're also 34-59 straight up when playing as home underdogs under Mosley. I think the bet here to make, and now the market has moved, would have been on the under when it was a higher number. I think that bad boy's dropped at least, 3 points now? I think I saw 239 earlier today.
Tomorrow, in the first game, the Thunder are 14.5 against the Suns. At DraftKings, they're $1.20 to win the Cup. They are plus 450 to break the Warriors' record and win 74 games. As you mentioned last week, the adjusted wins is 70.5 now. This is 23-1 on the season. They are minus 1,600 most wins in the regular season. They are minus 1,400. I told you to jump on that when it was plus money. It's 1,400 now.
Longest winning streak?
Yes.
They're plus 450 to win 74 games.
Yeah.
That's just silly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible, but think that just speaks to how great they are. I have them in pocket plus 225 to win the Cup. They're minus 120 right now.
You got plus 180.
What are they if they?
Yeah, good.
What are they if they get the Lakers? I brought this up. Are they 10?
Yeah.
Probably not 10 because they're 14.5 against the Suns.
They blast them in the first game, though. I've seen several people just say, I can't see them losing 10 games. I can't see any way how they lose 10 games.
There's no. I get it.
Think about that.
It's Utah. I get it. SGA didn't play on Sunday. They won by 30. Okay.
Look at the defense.
I know.
It's all-time good. The point differential, every number, every stat.
Yeah. Professional sports bettor Paul Stone next. We'll find out who he likes, college football playoffs, bowl games, look-ahead numbers for the quarterfinals coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Time for some bets in college football as professional sports bettor Paul Stone joins the program now. Joins us every single Tuesday at this time on the Progressive Guest Line. You can follow him on X. He's at Paul Stone Sports. Paul, good afternoon. Thanks for the time. Let's start with Notre Dame and Alabama here. And if you had any of these, you can throw in Miami as well. If you had any of these teams to either make or miss the playoffs, your thoughts overall on it really coming down to Notre Dame against Alabama and not Notre Dame versus Miami to make the playoff. And what would you make the Fighting Irish against Alabama on a neutral?
Well, I'll start with I did have a ticket on Miami at 4-1 to make the college football playoff. And actually, I was listening to Chris the Bear Felica, a regular guest on VSiN, certainly on Gil's show quite often. I was listening to him on Friday morning with Gil, and he was talking about making the case for Miami at 4-1 to make the playoff. And I was actually in Bossier City, Louisiana, cashing a ticket. So I put some of the proceeds from that ticket on Miami at 4-1. So it certainly pays to listen to VSiN sometimes, and the Bear gets all credit for that. You know, I would make, if Notre Dame and Alabama in their current form were to play on a true neutral this weekend, just off the top of my head, I'd probably make Notre Dame about a 5.5-point favorite. So they would certainly, I don't think anybody that maintains power ratings that has a good formula and a good method would have anything but Notre Dame favored in that matchup. But I will say, you know, it's a very difficult debate between those two schools. Very difficult job. I'll certainly criticize the committee. There are several things I don't like that they did. But on this debate, you've got a Notre Dame team that loses their opener at Miami, you know, with the first-time starting quarterback, redshirt freshman C.J. Carr under center. They lose to Miami in that close game on the late field goal. Then they host Texas A&M in week 3 and lose at home 41-40 in that back-and-forth score fest. So they lose those 2 games. And Notre Dame, everybody on Twitter and on programs such as yours, and there's nothing wrong with it, but everybody's talked about Notre Dame would be favored over this team. They would be favored over that team. And that is absolutely true. But I would also point out, because I keep power ratings and I know how these things are done, I think Notre Dame's power rating was built on pulverizing lightweights and middleweights. That's how their margin of victory was so significant. They were so impactful in those other 10 games that they were able to establish a very high power rating. They're still good. They would still be a formidable opponent. And it came down to, I think they chose, we're not going to leave out a team playing in the SEC championship. I can see that. A team shouldn't be penalized for their conference champion being in the conference championship game and playing that 13th game. But at the same time, I think I would have selected Notre Dame. You can't unsee what Alabama did in that game against Georgia on Saturday. You can't act like it didn't happen. Same thing with BYU against Texas Tech. It was the same thing the second time around in Arlington for the Cougars, BYU, as it was the first time around in Lubbock. So I would have selected Alabama, or Notre Dame rather, over Alabama as well. But man, I think it was a difficult debate, but Alabama just not playing that well right now, unable to run the ball at all.
Good breakdown. Good job cashing that ticket. On to some of your picks and the games. This did not go well for Tulane. The first time they played Ole Miss. Now you like Ole Miss again, laying a big number against Tulane in the playoff. Tell us why.
We're going to go back to the well with the Ole Miss Rebels against Tulane. Obviously, these 2 teams have some similarities, and that both head coaches will be going to different schools next year. The difference, obviously, is that Tulane head coach John Sumrall, who's accepted the job at the University of Florida, is going to stay with the Green Wave through the remainder of their playoff run. Meanwhile, Lane Kiffin, his bid to stay as head coach and lead the Rebels in the playoffs was essentially denied by Ole Miss administration. So his bags are packed, and he's in Baton Rouge. They've hired as their permanent head coach for the time being anyway, their former defensive coordinator, Pete Golding. So they've got some continuity there. Their offensive coordinator, Charlie Weiss Jr., also has been allowed to stay with Ole Miss on the coaching staff. He'll call plays as he has throughout the season. And then they got a bit of good news last night as well. And you guys maybe have talked about it, but Pete Thamel of ESPN reported that 4 more coaches arrived in Oxford yesterday morning. Their tight ends coach, Joe Cox, their wide receiver coach, George McDonald, assistant quarterback coach, Dane Stevens, and slot wide receiver coach, Sawyer Jordan, all left Baton Rouge for Oxford, and they're going to coach the Rebels through the playoffs. So that's a really big plus for Ole Miss to have some of those familiar faces calling plays and so forth. And my big concern here is the Tulane is simply outmanned. They're not a great defensive team. Tulane's had some really good football teams the last 6 or 7 years, and I think they've had 2 probably better than this one. And where they're deficient is on defense. You look at that September 20th first meeting between these teams in Oxford. Ole Miss rolls in that game to a 45-10 victory. Trinidad Chambliss was pretty new under center for the Rebels at that point. But in that game, 307 yards passing for Chambliss, 11.4 yards per attempt. He also rushed for 112 yards. So a big game for Chambliss in that particular game. You look at this Tulane defense, again, they gave up 31 to South Alabama. They gave up 48 to Texas San Antonio, gave up 32 to Memphis. Phil Steele has a pass efficiency defensive rating system that he publishes in his newsletter. He has Tulane ranked 85th in that, and they're going up against a big-time SEC offense. I want to add as well, we'll remember that game about a month ago, Owen McCowan for UTSA for San Antonio. He didn't hardly throw an incompletion against Tulane. 32 of 34, 391 yards, 11.5 yards per attempt. I think Ole Miss is going to hang at least 45, maybe half 100 on the Green Wave. I like Ole Miss minus 17 over Tulane in Oxford.
Very strong. Paul Stone, our guest here on the Progressive Guest Line on X at Paul Stone Sports. The quarterfinal numbers are up at some offshore books and some legal books as well. Did anything catch your eye here with potential matchups?
As far as the look-ahead lines we're talking about, yeah. I tell you, obviously there's 8 potential matchups that they've put those look-ahead lines up on. And the one that really caught my eye, and I think you and Pauly talked about it yesterday, so I'm merely concurring with what you guys said and kind of piggybacking, although this is my original thought as well. But Oregon favored by 2 over Texas Tech at one book in the look-aheads. And I just like this Texas Tech team. I mean, we've seen the Red Raiders, I think, in 3 games, is what I kind of boil it down to. The Big 12, probably not quite as deep, especially at the top as it was last year. Still had some really good football teams, but I don't think it was quite as good. But there are 3 prime games this year on September 20th at Utah. They're 3.5-point underdogs. And that's kind of when the Red Raiders first served notice that they were going to be part of this national conversation. I mean, they dominated. I remember Kyle Whittingham after that game. He looked stunned. He said, I just can't believe we were dominated on both lines of scrimmage, and that just doesn't happen around here. Texas Tech beat Utah in Salt Lake City 34-10. Then they host BYU several weeks back there in Lubbock, a big game on the Plains, dominated BYU from start to finish 29-7. BYU gets the rematch 4 weeks later. They play in Arlington, Texas this past Saturday. Texas Tech, again, a 12.5-point favorite. And it was just, same song, second verse. It was almost like a continuum of the game they played in Lubbock on November 8th. The Red Raiders rolled BYU 34-7. And I tell you, when Bayron Morton, their quarterback, is healthy, this is a big-time football team, a great defensive team. Through the years, we've been kind of conditioned to think of Texas Tech as all offense but no defense. Man, they're playing some defense now. And one of their best defensive players, defensive tackle Skylar Gill-Howard, he's been out much of the season, had ankle surgery in mid-October. Joey McGuire, the head coach for Texas Tech, said earlier this week that he could return as early as the college football playoff semifinals. So if he gets in that lineup and he's able to contribute, I wouldn't be surprised to see Texas Tech be the fly in the ointment this year.
Okay.
Very good.
Yep.
In 30 seconds, in a minute, can you make the case for Army +6 Saturday?
I like Army here. When these teams face non-service academies, the teams are the opposition's going to be a little bit have difficulty perhaps defending that unique offensive that option offense. And when these two teams play one another, though, you have that familiarity aspect. They see it every day. They don't fall for the eye candy. So I think a 6.5 point spread in this type of game is a little bit different than in most games. Blake Harvath, the quarterback for Navy, he's been sensational for the midshipmen. He rushed for over 1,000 yards for the second straight season. He's thrown for almost 1,400 this year. Army quarterback Kel Helms, almost as good as Harvath. He's rushed for 1,078 yards, 4.1 yards per carry. In his last 5 games, man, that guy Helms, the quarterback for Army, has been a workhorse, 31 carries a game on average. What it comes down for me here is this is kind of a underdog series. The underdog 10-4 against the spread in this series, the last 14 meetings. I like Army +6 over Navy Saturday in Baltimore.
Thanks so much, Paul. We appreciate the time as always. Good luck this week.
Hey, thank you guys. Good luck to everyone out there.
Pizzeria bets next. Wait until you hear books offer this, by the way, a lot of them. A 350-1 shot that looks great right now.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Do you like the service at Mitch and Pauly's?
I don't tip. You don't tip?
No, I don't believe in it. Leave us a tip on your way out.
You don't tip. You don't tip. What do you mean you don't tip? You don't believe in it.
The guys crack open the jar and see what the listeners have left behind.
So what, no TV now?
It's time for the tip jar at Mitch and Pauly's Pizzeria.
Mitch and Pauly's Pizzeria tip jar, sponsored by Mama's Pizza. Mama's Pizza, the only place where your pizza money always gets you a win. Check them out, mamaspizzas.net. Mama's Pizza, the Mama's Pizza, on Instagram. Steve in Rhode Island. Bet these in July, twice by accident. Rams Super Bowl, Stafford regular season MVP, 350-1.
Yeah, more and more books offer that during the summertime before the football season. And it's always like, what is there an angle here? And it's like, yeah, boy, so much has to happen. Really? Wow. But to get on both of those, and like, it's just a natural, it's like a natural parlay that they have on their betting menu.
Yeah.
Stafford's going to win the MVP unless he gets hurt. Like, he's the winner. I'm going to hedge this week on my Drake May 95-1 ticket.
Good job, man.
Have to hedge.
Yeah, concur. Yep. Send these in, ftm@vsin.com, or tweet at us as well. Always want to see your plays. Trevor in Florida. Rams, Texans, exacta. Aston Villa, Premier League. They're in third place. Canadians win the East. 22,000 to 1.
22,000 to 1.
Oh, boy. It just stop. Rams, Texans, exact is good enough. That's okay. You have to get greedy.
Yeah, you can pop that in at 500 to 1 or whatever the number would be.
Haji, we met him in August. He's doing well in the Super Contest at the Westgate. Dodgers World Series, cash it. Texas Tech, Big 12, cash it. Bills, AFC, Houston College basketball, 1,200 to 1.
Well, AFC is completely wide open.
It is.
Houston's going to be really freaking good again come March.
And the Bills steal the division. That would be nice. But I don't think so.
Little unlikely at this point.
Right. We can maneuver. Need to run for the Bills first.
Yep.
Graham in Colorado. Aces, WNBA, cash it. Dodgers World Series, cash it. Sinner, Australian Open. Ravens miss. Bayern Munich wins Bundesliga. And Napoli wins their league. Both in first place. 150 to 1. You're cooking. You are cooking there, my friend.
Damn.
Looks good. Excellent.
And Ravens to miss just for a little icing on the cake.
That's right. Jeff in Iowa. July 14th, he bet Pavia Heisman 200 to 1. More movement on Pavia. He's
Recently?
coming down. Yeah, I saw some stuff offshore, too.
I saw 6 to 1 yesterday, I believe, or Sunday night. Did you see lower than that?
Let me look. Saw something far away. About 5, I thought. He's 6 at DK right now. Mendoza was 2,000, 2,500 after the throw.
I still think Pavia can...
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. Plenty of tickets with him, though. Now, this is great. In all this Alabama, Notre Dame, Miami business, you could have grabbed Miami Sunday at 125 to 1.
Yeah.
Because so many people thought they weren't. And I watched Johnny Avello last night. They were convinced it was Notre Dame, but no one thought Miami, other than us and Felica, where they were getting in. We were picking up Felica's steam, and you had to take the plus 550. But Haas in New Orleans, late November, bet Miami at 175 to 1.
That's last Sunday, actually.
That's incredible.
That's how recently he made that bet.
Oh, wow.
175 to 1.
They're live.
Sure they are.
Saban thinks they're live, super live.
Just don't screw it up, Carson Beck.
That's right. So much talent and playmakers. Texans win the South. They were 11 to 1 a couple weeks ago. Now they're right there. Austin Reeves, most improved. 327 to 1. Gordon in Oregon. He made the bet a couple weeks ago.
I hope he cashes,
Wow.
but I hate the MIP award in NBA, so.
Who's got, well, okay. But
Are they going to give it
it's
to
good.
Reeves? I don't, yeah, anyway.
Peter in Canada. Miami makes the playoff.
Nice sweat.
Texans Rams Super Bowl. Michigan Final Four. Spain World Cup. 2,570 to 1.
Well, I mean, Spain's going to be a juggernaut.
Michigan is a juggernaut.
No kidding.
Is it Texans over Rams or just Texans Rams? Just a
Just a
matchup.
matchup.
All right, yeah. Good job, Peter. Not bad. You could have stopped at the Texans Rams. Dodgers World Series, cash it. Chargers AFC, Rams NFC. 540 to 1. Flip. Bet it in September.
Okay, so it looks like
I could see it.
It looks like he bet it after the Chargers went to 2-0.
Yeah.
And the first 2 games were what, division games,
Yeah.
I believe?
Yeah.
Chiefs and Raiders, I think.
Rich in Canada has cashed several of these tickets with baseball. But Seahawks, Texans exacta. 5,000 to 1. Oh, boy. I mean, this is real with Houston.
Good Lord, he bet that a long time ago.
Well, yeah. Wow. Incredible odds.
The Texans are down to plus 350 to win the AFC?
Yeah. Indiana to win. I've seen several of these. Indiana to win it all. 65 to 1. Bet it after week 3. Denny in Massachusetts.
Nice job.
I can't believe they were 45 to 1 to win the conference.
They were that high?
Yes. BetMGM
Wow.
had them. Other spots, yes.
First of all, like, great job for the people recognizing right away this season that it was not a fluke.
Right.
And,
And backing Signetti.
our buddy Indiana Jet, who won Survivor a couple years ago,
Yep.
I hope he wins. Before the Oregon game, on X, he's like, I'm telling you right now, you need to bet Mendoza to win the Heisman. I think at that time he was still 35-1.
Yep. Buy Mark B on X. Miami makes the playoff. Seahawks win the Super Bowl. Thunder repeat. Avs win the Cup.
Oh, boy.
636-1. That's not outrageous. I'll give you one coming up. I got the last two.
Oh, he's cooking right there.
You are cooking. Great job. Took a bad beat last night. Mama's Pizza has your back. Been around since 1968. That's why you know they're the real deal. They've won a ton of Best Pizza Awards. They deliver the crust that beats the spread every time. And when it comes to pizza money, don't waste it on bad bets. Put it where it counts on a hot slice from Mama's. Franchise opportunities are available if you're thinking long-term value. Start your own business. mamaspizzas.net. Let's get it up to 20 locations. 817-870-2571. The crust, the ingredients, the dough, the garlic butter on the crust. Love it. There's a location half a mile from Jerry's World. Football fans. The World Cup is down the street. Right there as well from Mama's. Try the Wicked Pig. They have the California crust, the gluten-free as well. mamaspizzas.net. Mama's Pizza, sorry.
Here's another one from Pete. 632-1. Gators, college basketball champs, winner. Oklahoma City NBA champs from last year, winner. Dodgers win the National League, winner. Panthers win the Stanley Cup, winner. There's one pending. It's Rams to win their division. That ticket pays 633-1 in that territory. He's asking for advice.
All
Rams
right.
have to win the division.
Thursday night.
Thursday night, you could do some live betting. You could bet Seattle right now if you would like. But if the Rams win that one, the Niners are lingering. Boy, oh boy, just to win the division. How about that? Threw it in there.
Packers division, Broncos division, Steelers division, Thunder repeat, Avs win the NHL final. Stanley Cup 29-1. I did that during the break. Played with that.
Oh, so that's available right now.
That's right now. You can bet that. What's your 350-1?
That's the one. It's
That's it? Okay.
it's the
I thought
Stafford and the Rams.
Okay. What were you going to say about Wallace?
Oh, so when we talked about this, and I gave him out in pocket 500-1 to win Defensive Player of the Year. I don't think, even if Wemby comes back, if the Spurs beat the Lakers and Wemby comes back I still don't think he's going to win 60 or play 65 games this year. I think it's a total uphill battle. So assuming that he doesn't play the number of games necessary to win an award, Cason Wallace now on the season, he leads the league in steals per game. He is first in steal percentage and steals per 100 possessions. He is second in defensive win shares at 1.5. Actually, SGA is number one in the NBA. Cason Wallace is second in defensive box plus minus, only behind Nikola Jokic. And Cason Wallace is second in defensive rating behind his teammate Isaiah Hartenstein. He's down to 40 or 50-1 now. It will get much lower than that. But he just won the NBA's, the Western Conference Defensive Player of the Month in November. Again, led the entire league in deflections and in steals. So they are, you mentioned this briefly earlier, their team numbers overall are otherworldly, one of the best defensive numbers of all time when you compare it to the rest of the league. I don't know how they're going to look at it again this year and say, well, everybody on the team's a good defender, so can we really get somebody on that team?
Yeah. Incredible movement, though.
I still think 40 or 50-1 is worth a bet on him.
Yep. Reeves is 5-1, most improved. Third choice.
Down that low now.
Yep.
That's got to be, Jalen Duren's got to be.
He's the second shot.
Okay. Avita is number one.
Have you seen his numbers?
Oh, he's outstanding.
God, he's good. Yep.
Have you seen Jalen Johnson recently?
He's the fourth choice.
Good Lord, is that kid good?
Yeah, well, Reeves in L.A. certainly going to help. Once we get done with football, all their games are on national TV.
Updated NFL numbers after Monday Night Football. The Eagles simply cannot afford to slip up and must beat the teams they're better than, and we have a new short shot to become the Giants' next head coach.